Yeah, we're live. What's going on, Shrimp Keepers? So sorry for being a little bit late. Me and Cory have been driving around everywhere. We had Mark with us. We went and saw a ton of fish rooms, literally
like 8 or more.
A ton, which is a lot. Like that is a lot to cram in. It's been a crazy good weekend. A lot of fun. A talk here. He did really well on that. We'll hear more from Cory in a little bit. We already have a ton of questions, so we got a lot going on tonight. I don't think we really have a topic. Like the topic is like the Aquarium Co-Op weekend. I gotta mute my phone. I don't even know where it is.
It's over here. I'll grab it.
Is it? All right, good. But yeah, so I hope you guys are making it a great weekend. We have been literally slammed. Like you guys probably haven't seen any videos from me. You've been posting videos like crazy, but this guy, Cory from Aquarium Co-Op, like it's just a well-oiled machine over there.
I try to run a tight ship. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man, he does.
I've been doing Instagram updates from the road. I even got Jimmy to upload a video. I was impressed by that.
Yeah, why don't you tell him about that? That was a good time.
Okay, so I think it was Friday. I wanted to live stream all the shrimp because I was like, man, there's like a billion shrimp in here. This looks so cool. I want to show my fans, right? And so I ran on my phone, speed test, make sure like, oh yeah, internet's dialed in. It's gonna go great. And I was standing like close to the door in that room, and then it tests out well. I'm like, great, let's go live. I get it all ready, and then I take like 3 steps in as I'm showing shrimp, and it just cuts off.
Oh.
And it was a disaster because it. So then I had to rush, grab my camera, film it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and upload this, and then get Jimmy, my editor, to download it, work it into a video, and get it out because people are like, are you coming back live? And it's like a metal building, so like I happen to be standing like at the absolute correct spot because everywhere else I tested, I was doing this. It was just dead zone everywhere except for exactly where I happened to test.
Yeah, the spot where he started filming was the only place he could get connection. But
it worked.
Oh, it was funny too because Cory's like going around doing this whole video and he's like, oh, I'll just end it because I don't know if it's working. And then he's like, oh, it's rendering. And so we're like, oh, great.
Worked.
So I pull it up on my phone and I'm like, oh yeah, this is really good quality, Cory. Like it's looking really good. And then the video ended. I'm like,
31 seconds later, silence.
31 seconds in. And then it was funny. But yeah, him and Jimmy got a video up like that. So it was a quick turnaround, which was a good thing. So
anyway, to answer Sean Eckart's question, how are the shrimp orders looking? To me, they look great. That's why I wanted to film it because something about seeing like 1,000+ cherry shrimp in some of those totes on the black look really good to me.
Yeah, so the shrimp themselves look great. I mean, the shrimp always look great as far as color. It's just how's the survival rates, how's everything like that going. And it's been going really good up to this point. And so really happy about that.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we actually went through and we picked out any ones that potentially had diseases.
I actually got to learn a ton. That was awesome for me.
Cory's a ninja when it comes to seeing parasites. Like he's like, oh, there's one. There's one. And so it was really beneficial to have Cory because it's nice. Like usually I do it by myself or I have Amanda help me or Jeff.
Well, once you taught me what to look for it, like because you see it in pictures and you see it like on one shrimp or something like that, and you're like, oh yeah, there it is. Okay, but when you're looking at 1,000 shrimp and you have to make the decision, does this have it? Does that not have it? Is that buried eggs or is that a parasite? And so once I was doing it in person and I was actually trying to help you, it became very real where when you're just studying about it, you're like, yeah, there's a picture of it. Sure.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's a difference between like, let's say you went to school to be a doctor or something. You're like, yeah, I read how to do open heart surgery. But it's way different when you're like, okay, now it's my turn to do it. Like it was way
in practice. It's different.
It was, that's almost something you could do maybe like as like a talk or something, like do a live thing. Like you bring shrimp and like my club's done some things where you do micro cultures. You get all the tables and you could have like groups of shrimp that are both like have parasites and don't, and people have to identify them. And you could do
that's a good idea
because that would really teach people parasites. I think.
Yeah.
Like we could even do that if we had any and we had the right cameras. We could do that here because like or if you just filmed it with like a group of like if it was you and like 4 people that have never seen those parasites before, like they are going to be the best teachers because they don't know what's important. You're just going, because you can spot it from across the room.
Yeah, they're going to ask the right questions and everything.
Yeah, where I'm like, does this look like the thing? Like, is that the thing I'm looking for? And
Yeah.
So it would force you to like, oh yeah, you're gonna look for this and this and this. So
Yeah.
that might be a rad thing because right now all I personally really know of is either like kind of stills of pictures of the parasites on like a forum or in a video, and lots of talking, but not lots of like hands-on, you know. Like I don't think anyone's ever like flipped over a shrimp and be like, you see this? It's always a picture of it, which I watched you do, which I thought that was amazing. You're just like, oh, hold on. Yep. Nope. Yep.
Yeah, so now you're an expert. And he's batting like 1,000. I mean, I don't think he got one wrong.
I like to play my odds right, and so it's like there's that question about like
I'll let it go. I'll
let him find that one. Like I just release it right over by him. Like yeah, we'll see if.
That's funny. But talking about quarantine shrimp, Fanatics Aquatics did ask a question about the red fancy tigers. Apparently on the website. So last week we did a special on red fancy tigers. It was the calls. It was 10 for $45, and we put them on the website. And apparently. We didn't put that they have to go through quarantine, but they definitely still need to go through quarantine. And so we won't be shipping those out till next week. I know Amanda did a post on that. And then also talking about specials, we do have a special tonight. It's 15% off all the shrimp food on our website. If you guys are interested in that, it's the Shrimp King food, Bacteria, all the products that we use, especially through quarantine, things that help build up so that they can molt easier, different things like that. So we got a ton of stuff there. So if you guys want to go check that out.
My favorite food, and I don't know what it's called, but from watching you feed, was the stuff that looked like it got all fluffy.
Oh, it's snowflake.
Because the shrimp seemed like from me watching thousands of shrimp because I was nerding out. It seems like they would grab to me it looked like a snowflake and then like run off with it.
Oh yeah, especially in monos. Monos are the biggest piggies in the world.
Yeah. So that one, I'm just saying, I watched a lot of shrimp. Because you've had a couple of different things, but it seemed like that one they were like bonkers about.
Yeah. So snowflake is always a great option, and it won't pollute your water. So you don't have to be really worried about overfeeding or anything like that. It can stay in the water, and really the organisms that break it down too are good for the shrimp. So it's a win-win overall.
And so the other thing I noticed, I feel like at least this weekend, I always saw you feed. I think I saw twice a day. Is that normal?
Yeah, especially when we get imports in. We usually try to feed twice a day just to make sure that they're getting enough food. And it'd be even better if we feed more than that. So we talked a lot this weekend about like auto feeders and stuff like that because Cory used those a lot at Aquarium Co-op.
In my quarantine, or at least my fish room in quarantine.
Yeah. So it's something that I'm really thinking about just to make sure that they get fed as much as possible. So it's definitely something to consider, especially if we go towards ponds, because it's a lot easier to stock, auto feeders on 50 ponds opposed to 350 tanks. So there's a lot that goes into that. So what do you like auto feeders? Do you use them in your store at all, or
I don't use them in my store because in my store I think they get knocked over all the time.
Yeah.
Because you gotta take the front lid off and it's gotta go somewhere, and we always put it on the back of the tank. So then you'd have to figure out where that feeder could sit otherwise. Yeah. And so I don't use it at the store at all, but at home I use a ton of them. Yeah. And it's because let's say you could feed out a pellet food with that auto feeder, but maybe it's not built to do Bacteria AE because that's like a powdery thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, in my fish room, I use it to feed out pellets, but then in the morning and at night, I'll either do a live baby brine shrimp for my fish or frozen food, stuff that I can't put through the feeder. So I automate the stuff that I can totally do with a feeder, and then when I'm doing stuff, it's stuff that a feeder couldn't do.
Okay.
So it's just in addition to, not instead of.
So even with the auto feeders, how many times do you try to feed a day?
So try is 6. How many times do I actually feed? It's usually 4 or 5. And so the auto feeder does 4. So right now, even though I'm not here, auto feeders are feeding 4 times a day. And then Jimmy might be feeding once.
Nice.
But if he doesn't feed at all, we're still auto feeding. Yeah. And the 800-gallon aquarium, technically right now it's only set to feed once a day, and we're doing lots of frozen bloodworms, but I am going to set it up to do a bunch of times a day because I like small meals. And then we'll actually post a schedule because we've got a live camera on that tank as well, but we're working on positioning and stuff. And then the schedule.
So is that actually up on your website now?
It's not on the website yet. You gotta see a peek no one's ever seen.
I did get to see it. It was awesome
because they don't make a mount to mount it to a fish tank, and so I had to buy this suction cup mount thingy, and it's almost working, but it sits sideways a little bit, and so I gotta figure out how to stabilize it. Yeah, I gotta like either glue or build some kind of thing, and I don't want it to just like, I don't want it to look terrible. Like everyone clicks in and goes, oh, garbage.
Now, is that going to replace the puffer?
No, it's in addition to.
In addition to.
Yeah.
And that's on your website?
Yep.
Nice.
And I noticed someone in the comments asked if Murphy was going to go in the 800 gallon. Nope, Murphy stays at the store. I do have Ladybird, which is a smaller Maboo puffer, and yeah, she's going to go somewhere, but I think I'm going to, truth be told, I will probably buy like another 800 or 1,000 gallon tank, because there's other big schools of fish and stuff I want to do. And that's actually one of the biggest things people comment is like, what you've got in that 800 gallon tank is going to outgrow it. This is not my final tank. So like, to me, honestly, like the 800 gallon is a grow out for what is going to come down the road someday. And if for some reason it never comes, clown loaches that are big are easy to find homes for because everyone wants them.
And you've been talking about redoing your fish room potentially.
Oh yeah.
And what people don't know is he's actually thinking about just combining it all to one big tank. Right?
Well, I'm thinking a few very large aquariums, but it'll be in stages. Like I want to make sure that it's actually fun for me. And so
you have to.
I've done things in the past where it's like, oh man, it would be really cool. Like what if I had like 5 1,000 gallon aquariums, and then you do it, and for like 8 months, it's the coolest thing ever. And then you're like, oh, I'd really like to breed shrimp. Yeah. And then you end up setting up small tanks again. So I'm trying to find what the right mix of like medium-sized tanks. So I bought a bunch of 125 gallon tanks, and I'm hoping to set those up. And that's my medium size to play with some stuff. And then I want to get some bigger things as I can afford them, which, hey, that could be a very long time away. I'm not in a rush to build more giant tanks, but something like my clown loaches and my Maboo puffer are at least a few years out from needing something larger. So I'm plenty okay for now.
Yeah. Now somebody did ask a question real quick, and I want to get off topic. Ruby's barking. She must be here by herself.
Ruby's a ball of fire.
Ruby is a ball of fire.
Yeah.
But somebody asked, how long is the discount code good for? And I was only going to do it till Monday. What do you usually do for your live streams? You do a discount code.
Yeah, I do. I usually do it till like basically Monday at midnight. So that way, if they're not watching it right now,
they're watching
and they're watching it at work tomorrow, and they go, "Oh man, I should order that." They don't hit like it's already expired, because I want people to be able to spend time with their family if they want. Otherwise, you come spend time with the shrimp fan.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so we'll do exactly what Cory does. We'll run the discount code for tonight's live stream all the way until tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow night, and then like Tuesday at midnight or whatever is the cutoff. But that's a fair. I feel like a fair shot to anyone.
Yeah,
you had over 24 hours to use it, and
it gives everyone a good opportunity.
Yeah.
But hey, getting back on topic, we were talking about large fish tanks. You potentially switching over your fish room. You got the 800 gallon aquarium. Why don't you tell everyone what we saw today? We saw some of the biggest tanks that I've ever seen in my life personally.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I was blown away.
I think they're the biggest. I mean, I can't. Well, besides public aquarium.
Yeah.
So if we're taking out like a public aquarium, but what were they? Were they 16,000?
They were either 16 or 17,000 gallons.
Yeah. So we went to a tilapia farm, which was a farm in itself. So there's lots of animals and stuff like that. But it was just cool all around. But they had 2 like 16,000 gallon tilapia tanks with crazy filtration and just technology. They had a pump I had never seen before, which was really cool, where it had a controller on it that it measured the resistance. And so it was a DC pump, and if there since backflow, so it always put out the same amount of gallons per hour. It would just apply more energy to make sure it stayed there. And so if it normally ran at 500 and you walked by and it was running at 600, you would know, it's time to service the impeller because it's not running as efficient as it can.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, it would actually alarm or send a text message out if it was starting to use like let's say it could only ramp up to 750. If it was at 750, it's going to tell someone like, we're going to start losing flow, because in the aquaculture world, you start losing some flow, you might lose thousands of tilapia. And there was thousands. Like there was, as close to as you could walk across the water on the backs of these fish. That's about.
Well, here's the thing too, is there wasn't just one 16 or 17,000 gallon aquarium. There were 2.
Yeah.
And I guess they might be considered ponds, but they did have glass windows where you could look in.
Oh yeah. They were.
Whatever they were huge and tons of fish in them. It was just awesome.
And they were 10 feet deep too.
Yeah,
which was crazy.
It was so cool, and it's something that you didn't expect because it was like this guy that did really well in life and has a farm and enjoys it and has fruit trees and all the different types of animals.
Yeah.
And then in one of his barns, you literally open the door and here's these huge 16 or 17,000 gallon pond/aquariums sitting next to each other with state-of-the-art filtration and pumps and lighting. And then next to it, it has all these aquariums where they're breeding their own tilapia just to make it a self-sufficient operation.
Yeah. So someone asked where the video is. It's on our camera still. Like
it is. We literally
late earlier today. We were late to here
because
we
that
stayed
video.
there so long.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
We couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, it was one of those things like people are gonna be angry if we're not on time, but then they're also gonna be angry like I want more footage.
Yeah.
Like when that video comes out, they're gonna be like, why didn't you film that? And you'd be like, well, because we ran home to the live stream instead of filming it, so we filmed a lot.
Yeah, and you'll definitely be coming out with a video on that, right?
Oh yeah.
And I probably definitely don't have enough. I have some footage of it. It's definitely.
I grabbed like slow-mo footage and all kinds of stuff.
Did you really?
Phone. Yeah.
Oh no!
Because it was really cool when they go in front of the panels and that kind of thing. So.
You know what the good thing about having two people that are filming is while Cory's talking, I'm like filming things that I otherwise wouldn't film, and then when he's filming things that are like slow-mo and things like that, I'm grabbing like talking to the guy that built it, and so it actually does have a good flow having two people there.
Yeah, we can just upload all the footage, share it, and make an even better video.
Yeah, that's.
Someone asked if I was going live after this. I am, and I will have a special guest. You won't be able to guess who it is.
No way.
Yeah.
Will you tell me?
It's your wife.
Oh, it's Amanda. That's hilarious.
That would be hilarious. Like, actually, you can't be on the route.
Yeah, sorry, you're not.
Like we
invited.
planned it, and you didn't even know.
Like I can sit in the back chair.
No,
I can't even do that.
No, you have to watch it from a remote location.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I'll watch it from the couch downstairs.
Yep.
And I'll slow up the internet for you guys.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, so we've been having a good time.
Yeah.
Like we said, we went and saw like 8 fish rooms. We went to Columbus. You guys saw a bunch of videos from there. The cafe tour.
I ate biscuits and gravy 3 times.
Yeah. One thing that we found out.
Can we do it tomorrow morning?
We definitely can.
Bob Evans, here I come.
We can get some Bob Evans cookies.
I may or may not have fallen in love with a peanut butter cookie from Bob Evans. And by may or may not, I mean they know my name.
Yeah. They definitely know your name after this weekend. Biscuits and gravy almost every day. One day you had it twice.
I did have it twice one day.
But Bob Evans was better.
Well, someone had told me that, the second place was way better. And so I had to evaluate for myself. Bob Evans was better. And so I had to eat biscuits and gravy twice.
Yeah.
And
we're going to go tomorrow.
Yeah, because I can't get good biscuits and gravy back in Seattle.
No, it's weird. Like, Seattle just doesn't have good things like that.
They have nothing good at all. Not even the Aquarium Co-op is terrible.
No, some of the worst pet stores in the world.
Aquarium Co-op is better outside of Seattle. It's weird.
Oh, man. We just need to start a new one.
Yep.
What would we call it?
Can't be a co-op.
Can't be a co-op.
No. I can't tell the story why, though, because that's already in another video. So.
Is it really? Is it coming out soon?
You asked me.
Oh.
Oh, no, wait. You didn't ask me.
Jeremy.
Sergeant Tanks asked me. So it'll be coming in a different video. So that's why I can't talk about that. I don't want to ruin that video because it's.
I forgot that was in video because we've had so many good conversations. Yeah. You don't really record everything.
Cory had to explain what biscuits and gravy even was. Yeah, Joel in New Zealand doesn't have it. And I explained it like the sound that you hear when you see an angel in a movie, that that's what biscuits and gravy are. Yeah. That's the best way to explain it. No, I didn't, but
so your love for tacos is like overpowered by your love for biscuits and gravy.
Well, let's break it down here.
Okay.
There are 2 meals in which you eat tacos, and that would be lunch and dinner. And then there is 1 meal in which you eat biscuits and gravy, and that is breakfast. So the truth is I don't get up early enough for breakfast a lot of the time, or at least I don't make time. Like, I don't value breakfast as like a meal.
That's crazy because here you're like,
oh, I love it. But I'm on vacation.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the thing. And you probably know this. Whenever you go traveling, you speak at a club, everyone wants to take you out. Like, you want to go to breakfast? You want to go to lunch?
You're like, yeah.
And even like every fish room, you're like, hey, you want to go? And it's like, well, we got other stops. And it's like, if we go with you and you and you, that makes 3 lunches so far.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. And it takes up a lot of time. So.
But it is good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about traveling, too. The food. So how's Ohio food compared to other places you've gone?
Let's see.
I mean, we got biscuits and gravy, so that has to rank.
So I will say the fish and chips I had, the fish was lackluster compared to Seattle, which I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we're not on the ocean.
Yeah, yeah. What else did I have? I had good potato soup, and I had my first ever double chalupa.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing until we went at midnight, pretty much, because we hadn't eaten for a long time.
You did have the best tortilla chips of your life.
Ooh,
those were delicious.
I don't even know what brand they were, and I've never seen them before. And they were in, you guys have these like gas stations. We don't have that.
Yeah,
we only have tiny gas stations.
Every gas station in Ohio also serves food and also has like all the groceries you would ever need.
It's like a miniature mall, but they have these chips that were like seasoned with like just tortilla chips with like a little bit of lime and paprika and stuff like that. And I was like, these are the best. And so did I.
Yeah, you want to come in?
Not really. Do you want this?
Do we want an hour? Or will we take a little break between?
We'll take a break.
Okay, we'll take a break and we'll come down.
Because every time you take a bite, I'm going to ask you a question. And it's
going
to be horrible for you.
Yeah,
that's the way I am. But anyway, tortilla chips were amazing because then I was like, you should try one. And then Rob ate half the bag.
Yeah, every time he started eating, I was like, it was just a free invitation for me to stick my hand in the bag and eat some. Well, I think we got Sergeant Tanks in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, we actually hung out a lot with Sergeant Tanks this week, and he was a part of the Saturday and Friday events and a little bit on Thursday.
Yeah.
And that was fun. Jeremy's a hoot.
Eric B. was at the presentation.
Eric B. What's going on, Eric B.? I really enjoyed your presentation Friday night. Thanks for some great information. You're so welcome. I'm always here to support and give a good talk. Now, Cory was also there, but you probably didn't know he was there.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to speak. Rob just took it over. It was horrible.
It was great. No, it really went well.
There was. So my talk's going to be awesome when it comes out because at one point there was a guy trolling me with a lawnmower.
Yeah. And
I didn't know it. Everyone else saw him trolling me because I heard it, but I didn't realize the guy full on knew like we were doing like a talk or something.
Well, no, later on we found out it was the owner of the place we were doing it at.
Yeah. And
as he walked by, he literally looked in the window and just kept mowing.
Yeah. It was like the longest time of my life, like nothing but lawnmower, like, it's like, and here we have,
But Cory was a champ. Like, he didn't even stop his talk at all.
I didn't even break down crying till the end.
Yeah, like once we got like home that night, it was bad.
Yeah. I mean,
he held it together for the talk.
It was rough.
It was.
I don't think I could cry though because it was so hot. And it was so sweaty that I had nothing left for tears.
It was so hot, like that. And this is the bad thing. Everyone was falling asleep in the crowd. Yeah, but we can't really, say whether
they couldn't actually fall asleep because it was so hot and humid.
No, they were passing out.
That's why I turned off the AC.
Oh.
I from previous experiences, if you can make it so miserable someone can't sleep, they have to listen.
Oh yeah, they have to listen. If it's just miserable, it's like, oh, when is this gonna be over?
So someone said, Sheets rules. I don't know what that is, but I've seen like 1,000 of them today.
Yeah, we went and they have
we were in one, but I only grabbed a bag of Funyuns because we were like way behind.
Yeah, most people from like out of state think like, oh, like gas station food can't be good. Like, so when I'm like, oh yeah, they have MTO, which is made to order. Like Cory's like, oh.
We walked in. I was like, what are all those machines?
I
literally asked like, what are all those machines over there?
Yeah. Taylor Lee asked us, what do you think about fluval stratum? I personally use it in like all my crystal tanks. The main reason I use it is one, because I have a wholesale account with them, and it's so well priced, like compared to other buffering substrates, at least for shrimp. And the crystals, like I got it first because it was cheap, and then I bred crystals on it. I'm like, this stuff's great because it's working. And then I kept breeding crystals on it. You can keep Taiwan bees on it. They'll breed, but you won't get a high survival rate. So I personally love fluval shrimp stratum.
So I haven't done any testing, but there's people that I do believe in, and they've done the testing. And I won't say who because it kind of got into the point where the guy was getting in trouble. But basically, it's the same thing as ADA soil. Like it's coming from the origin there, and it's like so close that
it's so close. I actually I never heard that before.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but I haven't done like the taste test comparison, like let me take a bite of ADA, let me take a bite of fluval stratum, swirl around, sniff it,
The one thing I do know is ADA breaks down and I love ADA. Like it's one of the best soils out there, so I'm not knocking on it at all. But one difference is that ADA will break down. Like if you take it out of the tank and let it sit in a bucket or something, like it's going to turn to mush. Whereas fluval shrimp stratum and like things like Brightwell, they seem to hold up a lot better once you're moving them from place to place. Like 'cause I've literally tried to like break down a ADA tank with Malaya, and I went in to scoop it, and it was literally scoops of mud. And I'm like,
well, so to be fair, there's like a million different blends of ADA soil.
That is true.
I don't know which one it directly compares to.
Yeah,
because there is like several, like not only grain sizes, but actual like different buffering capacities on the ADA soil.
True, and how they cooked it, and a lot of factors go into it.
Like
You're
there's
right.
what is it, a Domica or something like that. There's that one. There's there's at least a few. So
yeah,
but anyway, I would say from my research and the people that I really talked to, I would say if you're in the need for a soil like ADA or fluval stratum, it seems like fluval stratum is a good price point for a good product.
Yeah, no, I would agree 100%. We got Chris Roma in the house dropping a $2 super chat.
Nice.
He said, Matt, make Black Rose call video, please. I have so many. So apparently Chris Roma is doing something right with the Black Rose that we got in, because he apparently has a ton of babies. So Chris, you need to make a video and show me what you have, and then I can help you pick and choose between them. But
wasn't he out of town? He had a chance to come here, and he's out of town.
Yeah, he said he was in Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania. I'm not sure where. Disappointed. He should have came. Friday night we had that awesome talk. Yeah. We had a great speaker come in.
Not only that, there was 2 cakes. I had 2 different types of cake.
See, when Cory comes into town, we celebrate.
Yeah, it's everyone's birthday when I'm here.
It's everybody's birthday.
To be fair, Melissa, my fan, showed up, and it was her birthday, and her husband was like, what are you doing?
For her birthday, she wanted to come watch her talk.
And
that's cool.
It was awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's some in-depth biscuits and gravy chat going on. I'll tell you what, like they're getting down to yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, we got Corvus in the house. What's going on, Joel? So apparently, me and Joel are doing a little trade for some shrimp and some artwork, and so I'm really excited to have some of Joel's artwork. He's a very talented artist, and he's someone that I followed his channel for a long time. And so it's cool to like have this like years later, now we have this connection and this friendship where we can talk back and forth. And you were even saying you watch a lot of his live streams.
I love his live stream. It's not PG-13.
Yeah, that is
like you wouldn't want to watch it in front of like your family or an office full of people, but it's a mature audience, and it's not like it's horrible. It's just there could be a swear word every once in a while, and I really try not to do that. Yeah, exactly. Surprises.
Surprises.
But I absolutely love his live stream, and I do a lot of work while watching it.
Yeah. So. That's awesome. Yeah, Corvus is a very animated person, which makes it enjoyable to listen to him and watch him.
He's got a story on everything, and not only that, it's an interesting story on everything. Yeah. I swear. You can hold up a number 2 pencil, and he's got like a legit story. Like, well, let me tell you about this one time.
Yeah, this one time.
How are you the guy that's always got the interesting story?
It stabbed me in the leg.
Yeah, by itself. And it wasn't even sharpened.
I was sleeping.
Yeah, it was the eraser end.
That's awesome. So what else? We had a great weekend. We got to hang out with some amazing people. If you had to pick one fish room before we end, what was the one fish room that really stands out besides like the tilapia farm?
So if I'm choosing a favorite, and
not even call it a favorite, just one that like something like stood out that you really love about that fish room.
I loved Jonathan's fish room that was themed. Well, he has a fish room, but he had like 10 different tanks that all had themes, and it was super cool. It was like my ultimate nerd, like radar was going off. Like one had a Death Star in it, one had a spider web in it. Like there was a lot of really cool themes, and I just think it'd be really fun to do it because like research going like how am I gonna do this? He built a lot of things out of styrofoam and cement, and there was one with a waterfall in it. There's one with like a volcano. Like the dude did everything I've ever thought up, and then said, "Oh, I'm too lazy to do," and he actually did it.
Yeah,
it was embarrassing for me. Like, oh man, I'll never be cool enough to do it.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like you gotta wait for the video to come out, but I mean like the guy put so much creativity into it. And the best thing about it, it's like I kind of equate it to like a kid's aquarium, because like kids have no influence on what other people are doing. They do exactly what they want to do. And Jonathan was the same way. Like he did exactly how he wanted to do it and what he did, and that's where the creativity came from.
So my favorite part is like when you show that video, there's going to be half the internet that's like, oh man, this guy, what is he doing? And then the second half, you're like, oh my God, is his actual fish room hardcore breeder cranking out fish?
Yeah.
And then you know it's not like, oh, this guy just doesn't know what he's doing. Like, no, he did that because he finds it fun. Oh, by the way, he can also destroy you in the breeder award program at the local club.
Yeah, he said he had like 30-some entries last year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Cranking them out.
So real quick, I don't want to forget, and Koss, I'm sorry it took a little bit longer to get to your super chat, but Koss asked me, hey, Rob, did you get to my email about paying for shipping? Koss, don't even worry about it, man. I will get back to your email, but do not stress out about it at all. And thank you for the super chat so much. Really do appreciate it. Now I can buy Cory, one biscuit.
Cookie?
No, one biscuit with a little bit of gravy.
So, all right. I can't, like, I look like I'm insane for loving the bits and gravy this much, but
so good.
I don't know. Okay, so maybe it's everywhere but Seattle, but at Bob Evans, which I've never been to before, they bring you biscuits on a plate and a bowl of gravy.
Yeah.
That I've never seen that before. They like at a normal place, they're like, here's your biscuits and we put the gravy on it.
Yeah.
They literally like, here's your giant thing of gravy.
And you can just smother it.
Oh yeah. It's because normally I have to ask for extra gravy whenever I get them in Seattle. Because they're like, they want to plate it, make it look all nice, like drizzle it so it looks all high end.
Yeah.
And so you're like choking on the dry biscuits as you try to like take it down. It's like the opposite end. It's like you get a bowl of gravy and your biscuits look like little oyster crackers you're dropping into this giant like vat of gravy.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you can't tell, I like gravy.
Oh, gravy's good.
So.
Especially Bob Evans gravy.
Take Cory to the hot dog place?
Have you ever been there?
No.
Have we taken you there?
I don't know what that is.
You like hot dogs?
Is it called the hot dog place?
It's called the hot dog shop. World famous, the original hot dog shop.
I mean, hot dogs aren't bad, but I don't know that I've had a hot dog where I'm like, oh man. Like, it's not tacos. It's not bits and gravy.
Well, here's the thing is like the reason it is so good is one, because it's family owned. Two, because it's like they like dish out the hot dogs like crazy. You go in there, you sit down, you order hot dogs. 3 minutes later, you have hot dogs, and then you get your bill and it's $4. So like the whole experience, like if you equate it all together, it is like awesome. And so yeah, I absolutely love it. And I do got to give a shout out to my girl. Where's she at? Story missed Emma. She's dropping some comments and we're in good conversation.
I was watching. Was it Friday or the day? She was live streaming.
She was live streaming.
Yeah.
She said she's gonna live stream every Monday at 1 p.m. So shout out to her, and it's always good to encourage the youth and really get them involved. So I'm all about supporting that. So shout out to Emma, aka Stormy Mist. But guys, I think we need to go eat some pizza. And then
when's the last time we had actual food? Was that 10 a.m.? Because I had like some chips.
Yeah, but like even at 10 a.m. Well, yeah, I guess it was 10 a.m. And it was like a quick meal. Yeah, because we're like, oh, we want to go see stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We'll eat this, and we'll get lunch, and then lunch never came, and now it's dinner time, and so we're pretty hungry, but we are going to be live. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be there. Most likely,
we'll see.
I'll get kicked out.
If you eat all the pizza, you don't get to come.
Okay, so I won't get in.
But in 12 minutes, basically, we have 12 minutes from right now to eat some pizza and set up my live stream.
Yeah, so we we better get going. So much love to you guys. Thank you all for being here. It's great having Cory here. Cory, thank you for being a part of the live stream.
Don't forget to pitch your code one more time. Because a ton of people have joined and they're not even going to know.
Oh, that's no good. All right, so if you have just stopped into the live stream or you've been here for a little bit of a while, we are doing a discount on shrimp food this weekend. And it's kind of just because, basically it's great food and we love it and we use it in all of our tanks. And so it's just a little bit of thing. We want to get in the habit of always having something for you guys to try out or use. And so if you guys are just getting the shrimp hobby or you need some shrimp food, please feel free to go check out the website, flipaquatics.com, and get 15% off of shrimp food just for today and tomorrow. And you guys can try everything from our famous Bacteria to some of our great Shrimp King products. But so it's always good. But Cory, thank you for being here, and I will let you close this out.
So yes, when I answer the last question, I am live streaming, and I am Cory from Aquarium Co-Op. So if you type in Aquarium Co-op and you have no idea who I am, me and Rob will be live streaming in T-minus 11 minutes. We might have pizza all over our face, and we might be a little bit slower because I have a feeling we're gonna like inhale a pizza. Yeah, but
question.
we will be going live again, and we can certainly answer shrimp questions over there, and well, we answered anything over here as well. But essentially, kind of same format, and yeah. So
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
all right, we'll see you guys later.